vast, stark, and beautiful. All words that can be used to describe the Bonneville salt flats. A lonely landscape, unchanged for over 14,000 years. But twice a year, the thunder of speed transforms this tranquil setting into a raceway on salt. It's truly a world of speed. Before their wheels touched the salt at Bonneville, these landlocked racers received a boost from the aviation world. After World War II, car designers rushed to incorporate the excitement of the airplanes that had won the war, especially the P-38 Lightning. The P-38's tail fins captivated GM's head of design, Harley Earl. He made sure his customized daily driver sported fins and a jet-like cowl. Earl also wanted to put fins on the first new Cadillac to hit the streets since 1942. It would be a bold design statement. Management wasn't convinced and asked Earl to prepare 3 alternatives. One, rather bland and not too challenging. Another one that looked futuristic, like it escaped from a sci-fi movie. And finally, Earl's favorite, a Cadillac with fins. Not the grandiose fins that would become synonymous with American excess by 1959, but somewhat demure fins that hinted at speed. His befinned Cadillac got the nod, and it ignited a fin race. Like the rivals in the space race, America's car companies vied to outfin each other. Earl had his eye on the tail of the planes, but hot rodders eyed the streamlined extra fuel tanks under the wings. Called drop tanks, their job had been to get American planes to their targets. Once the planes neared their destination, the pilots jettisoned the external tanks. Many are sitting on the bottom of the ocean. The planes flew home using the fuel from onboard tanks. After the war, hot rodders saw the tanks as ready-made race car bodies. Luckily, they didn't have to dive to retrieve them in order to build their dream machines. The tanks could be picked up as surplus and put to use on the dry lakes and, of course, at Bonneville. Hot rodders longed to take their cars to the fabled salt beds. However, the Bonneville regulars didn't want to share the salt flats with hot rodders. They were considered to be juvenile delinquents. But under intense pressure from hot rod organizations like the Southern California Timing Association, they were finally allowed a 1-week speed trial in the hottest part of the summer of 1949. Alex Xydias and a friend transformed one of the World War II surplus belly tanks into a race car. He realized that winning races would be good advertising for his new speed shop. He used a distinctive scallop design on his Lakester and the SoCal Speed Shop name on its nose. What counted was how fast it went. On his second outing, he set a record of 127 miles an hour, and on his third run, upped that to 130, a new record speed in its class. Many years later, the SoCal team, with the support of General Motors, decided to build a modern version of its legendary belly tank and take it to Bonneville. The goal? Break world speed records. It's impossible not to be affected by the enormity of the setting and thoughts about the history of record setters who've challenged the salt before. The big news was that the belly tanker was finally ready to run for a record. Alex Xydias was thrilled when he saw it on the salt. Finally, it's time for the belly tanker to get a shot at making it into the record books. It was 52 years since Alex Xydias' first belly tanker set a record at Bonneville. This was an historic run. Things were looking up, and finally it was official after several more runs. A new record of over 179.381 miles per hour. There is nothing like racing at Bonneville and becoming a part of history. This was truly a time to remember. Who would have believed that fuel tanks hanging under the wings of a P-38 would have inspired generations of speed enthusiasts.